Good evening, I'm Dr. Courtney Robinson. I am the founder and executive director of the Excellence in Advancement Foundation. I'm also the creator of the Black Leadership Academy. This evening, I want to take you on a little bit of a journey so that you understand how I was inspired to create the Black Leadership Academy. So, I want to start with this picture. This is me in the first grade. Here in Austin, Texas. So even back then, I was a fashionista. But what you might notice is that there's lots of smiles and happiness in the picture because it is first grade. And in the first grade, there was recess and snacks. So it was good times. But you may also notice that I'm the only Black child in the class. What I recognize now and what I remember then are very interesting in that I was just 6 years old and I remember being in that space and not feeling as if I could be quite myself. As if in some way I had to shed parts of who I was. That I couldn't be and say exactly what I wanted to say. It was assimilation. And it was happening in ways that were automatic, in ways that I didn't really understand until later on in life. I remember one time, I was in the 6th grade. I was on the cheerleading squad, and I was, again, the only African American on the cheerleading team. And a group of the girls were talking about some other Black people in our school. I mean, talking badly about the other Black people in the school. And so I guess they could see the sort of like disgust and disappointment on my face. And finally, one of them turned around and said, "Courtney, oh my God, you're not really Black." I think I've been Black all my life. But it was in that moment that I realized that I'd been normalized, that whiteness was more important, that my value as a Black person was diminished. So when I think about our educational system and how we educate, there were moments in time where it was illegal for enslaved Africans to get an education. But there were teachers, like there are teachers now, brave teachers who faced danger and death to educate enslaved Africans. These were pioneers. They understood that education was freedom, and education meant freedom. So as we progress through time, and we think about the freedom schools of the 1960s. So 1964, the Freedom Summer Project. From that project sprang over 40 freedom schools throughout Mississippi. The goals of these schools were to encourage, to motivate, to empower, and to help African American children understand their worth and their value. As time moved on, as the freedom schools continued, we saw an emergence of the Black Panther schools, the liberation schools. So in 1969, the Black Panther Party kept the freedom train going. They talked about Black history and how we understand our history and what it means to be Black in this country. But something that the Black Panthers did that moved the needle a little bit more is that they included the community. It was education for a community, and they provided programs that nurtured the entire child. So what we know today as free and reduced lunch is a product of the Black Panther Party's breakfast program. So children could start their day with a free breakfast. ensuring that they were ready to start their day. So it is in the spirit of these kinds of schools that I'm inspired to do more. I'm inspired to create the Black Leadership Academy because just like me in the first grade, at integration, there were pictures like these, where students were integrated into schools. Now, don't get me wrong. The ideals of integration are beautiful. They're lovely. They are what we wish we could be as America. But the implementation and the practice of integration was flawed. Flawed in ways that we are still trying to recover from today. Scholars over and over again continue to talk about how there's a dearth of Black educational philosophy in our schools. And that philosophy was ripped away during integration. It's these moments that I consider when I begin to think about what can I do, because I recognize that our youth need more. Frankly, I needed more. So when I started the Awesome Activist Leadership Camp, I figured, okay, Excellence and Advancement Foundation is going to do a one-week camp, and we are going to get it in. We are going to talk about Black history. We're going to talk about politics. We are going to see the city. We're going to do service. It was fantastic. We were at City Hall. We were at the Carver Museum. And what I found is that the students just soaked it up. They soaked up the information. They were so moved by what they discovered about themselves and about others. What I also found was just like my undergraduates. My undergraduates come to my teacher preparation class, my African American studies class, and they learn things about American history, an inclusive American history, an American history that deals with Black history. And oftentimes my undergraduate students are saddened and they're angry at the notion that they could have gone 18, 19, 21 years and never know that this too was American history. So what I found with my 12 to 15-year-olds is that they too were saddened and angry. So I couldn't just do a week. A week isn't enough. It's not enough to undo and to erase. It's not enough to help them understand their value. So, the Black Leadership Academy was born. Because if not me, then who? And if not now, then when? It is time. But in some ways, I'm saddened. Because here we are in 2016. And much of what the Black Leadership Academy does is similar to what freedom schools have done. We have to bring this kind of history to children. It is our responsibility. In 1912, when Carter G. Woodson was at Harvard, his professor said to him, Edward Channing said, I'd like for you to prove why Negro study is important. In many ways, I feel like we're still trying to prove that Black history is worth studying, that we are part of the fabric of this country, that we are too Americans. So when I think about what we need, what I need, what these children need, We need to create Carter G. Woodsons. I am the legacy of Carter G. Woodson. These children are the legacy of Carter G. Woodson. They want to know and need to know who they are so that they can stop proving that they're worth studying. But we have to believe in it. We have to make sure that Black history isn't just one day, isn't just 1 month, isn't just this small amount of time, but that Black history is a way of life. Because every day, I'm Black. So every day, we need to talk about it. We need to celebrate it. And we need to be about it. So what I want from you is go out and be Carter G. Woodson.